At this point, we will have introductions of our two president-elect candidates. The introductions will be limited to 1 minute. Hi, David. And the comments are 5 minutes. So at this time, we'll introduce Director Liz Cantu to introduce our first president-elect candidate. Director Cantu.
When you grow up with 6 brothers and 1 sister, you learn the art of negotiation, sharing, patience, and organization. If you're lucky, you learn and live that family, whatever that looks like for you, is the most important thing in life. And for Deborah Lee Cordova, family has also grown to include the community she serves and has served almost the entirety of her career. Good morning, my name is Liz Cantu, and I am a 3rd-year at-large director from Edinburgh, Hidalgo County in the Rio Grande Valley. And I am so very honored and humbled to introduce you to this most amazing, wonderful human being that I have called a friend for decades, and very much in the sentiment of Director Wooten, I am here today because of Deborah, honestly. She is a 2002 graduate of St. Mary's Law School. She went on to get a master's in business administration. She is a partner along with her 3 other founding partners of her law firm in Hidalgo County, where for 22 years she has served her clients in a multitude of areas like real estate, entities, foreclosures, collections, probate, and governmental entity representation. What I want to tell you about in the 30 seconds I have left, the storied and varied years of service that she has given to the bar include vice chair of the Council of Chairs, serving as the vice chair for the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Standing Committee. She's been on the Executive Committee, the Policy Manual Committee, the Audit and Finance Committee, Professional Development Committee, Facilities and Equipment Committee. She is the former chair of the Women in the Law section. You know that I am an enormous, sometimes rabid supporter of that section, and she has built it to what it is today. She speaks on all varied topics. She is so inclusive, she is kind, she is classy. She will elevate what the bar does, and I just want to tell you how fortunate we are to have both of these potential candidates. But Deborah has served at the highest levels and at the grassroots levels. And it's not the accolade that you may give her. It's not the recognition that you give her. It's the opportunity that you will give her to have small acts of service every day that will better us as a state bar and us as a community. So I'm here today to introduce to you Deborah Cordova.
Wow, thank you, Elizabeth, for that gracious introduction. First and foremost, I would like to thank the State Bar leadership and the State Bar Board of Directors. Thank you so much for inviting both David and I to share a few comments with you today. I also want to thank the Nominations and Elections Subcommittee for electing me as one of your nominees. And now I stand proudly and honored before you as a State Bar of Texas President-elect candidate. Thank you. Service. As Elizabeth mentioned, I have been practicing for 22 years, but my service started well before my legal career. I have led, engaged, and served on numerous organizations. I've represented my hometown, the city of Mission. I've represented my county, the county of Hidalgo. I've represented my region, the Rio Grande Valley. I've represented our state, and I've also represented organizations at the national level. And I didn't do this alone. I did this with the help of many other individuals, mentors, and people that have blazed the trails before me, that have opened doors, that has fueled a passion and a drive for me to pay it forward. And throughout all of my service, I have grown, not only professionally, but personally. Throughout all my service, we've had successes in our organizations, but we've also had failures that I have learned from. And it is through my professional development, my personal growth, the successes, but more importantly, adapting, pivoting, and learning from failures that I thrive as a leader in an organization. And so I've learned through all my service that it is essential and vital to engage, to evolve, and to elevate organizations and to elevate our legal profession. I want to take a moment to discuss engagement. Engagement is at the core of every organization. I want to build on what the State Bar of Texas leadership has already engaged. I want to strengthen the communication, especially in all areas across the state where we have underrepresented communities. And how are we going to do this together? With the limited amount of time, I'm only going to share a few ways. We're going to do this together. We're going to continue our collaboration with local bar leaders. We're going to continue to ensure that they are aware of the member benefits, like insurance, legal technology, business travel, professional liability insurance, the powerful legal research tools that are at our fingertips. The law practice management program, and many, many more must be disseminated at a local level. I want to highlight all of the important work that our committees and our sections do on a daily basis. That is how we are going to strategically engage everyone across the state. And we're also going to engage, even more so, our young lawyers. And engagement, it doesn't start while you're in the legal profession. Engagement starts way before that. Engagement starts before you become a licensed attorney. And we, the State Bar of Texas, have the prime opportunity to bridge that gap. I am very honored to say that I was part of the Outreach and Engagement Committee that held its first Law School Deans Forum Roundtable right here in this building. And that is how we are going to continue to engage the pipeline of the legal profession. Evolve. As you all are aware, the State Bar of Texas has a strategic plan, and I'm going to reiterate those measures. Service to the public, service to members, protection of the public, access to justice, sound administration and resources, and financial management. I reviewed the by the numbers 2023 and 2024 data. The data does not lie. The State Bar of Texas is evolving, and we need to continue to build on that journey. I want to also embrace technology and strategically with due diligence, focus, and building on the report from Trail. I want to continue to navigate the complexity and the intersection of the practice of law and AI. But finally, elevate. We took an oath to defend the Constitution and laws of the United States and the state of Texas. We have a responsibility to elevate our noble legal profession by going back to the basics, educating our public and administration of justice. I want to thank you for your time, but more importantly, I want to thank you for your service to the legal profession. Thank you.
Thank you, President-elect Cordova. Now I'd like to call Director David Courageous to introduce our second President-elect candidate.
I'm short. Thank you, Chair Stafford. Texas is a big, beautiful, multicultural state. It is a place I've called home for 6 generations and a place I love. We have 1,225 municipalities that are incorporated in this state and 254 counties. How many of y'all knew that? Today, I'm going to tell you about one, Muleshoe, Texas. which is just west of Lubbock. It was named after the Mule Shoe Ranch, and it was a railroad town. At its heyday in the 70s, it had 5,000 residents. It had 2 hospitals. It had a radio station. It had a newspaper and over 200 businesses. And this is what I know the people from Muleshoe, Texas. They are all principled. They are all loyal. They are all brilliant. They are humble. They are progressive. They exude integrity. They all, for some reason, reside in the Metroplex. And they are all named G. David Smith. Now, I do know of one that is the coach of the USC Trojans, but we don't speak of him. That said, over the next few months, you and all of our fellow Texas attorneys will learn about the goals, the lives, the ambitions of both of the candidates for Texas Bar President-elect. This is what I want you to know about David Smith. David Smith is the good human that I strive to be every day, that I have not yet reached. Yes, he of course dedicates his time to the practice of law, but he has dedicated his life to being a servant of our fellow humans. He volunteers his time to make affordable housing a reality in his hometown and provides health care for the uninsured. He believes and fights for access to justice for all. He works tirelessly to support, defend, and improve our legal profession, the reason why we're here today. And he does this all with a smile on his face and love in his heart. And if you haven't met David, you're going to love him, just as I do. The best part about David, despite all of that, is he grows a fantastic beard, but you won't see that today. So fellow directors, liaisons, staff, and guests, it is my very distinct honor to introduce you to our friend and outstanding leader, G. David Smith, candidate for President-elect of the State Bar of Texas.
Wow, I don't know who he is talking about. Thank you, David. You're a true friend. And I'm going to explain to y'all what a true friend is. One of my frequent flyer criminal clients told me many years ago that a good friend will come bail you out of jail. A true friend will sit in the cell next to you and say, "How did we get here?" And you are a true friend. I want to thank everybody. I want to thank this leadership team. I want to thank the committee. I want to thank everyone for making this dream a reality for me and for Deborah. I want to thank Deborah because I will tell you, if I were not one of the nominees for this office, I would be working on her campaign. I want to thank my wife, who is here with us today, because she is my partner in all things, and without her consent and without her cooperation, I wouldn't be here. I want to tell you about why I want to be the president-elect of this organization. I want to talk to you about why I love this organization, and then I want to talk to you about what I want to see happen if elected as president-elect and then become the president. My aha moment about state bar service actually happened when I rolled off of of the board of directors. That was last June. And I was kind of at a loss, you know. It was a bittersweet moment. I was finally done with the 3-year stint, but at the same time, I didn't want to leave. And so I stuck around for the meeting, for the new candidates that were coming in. And I watched that meeting, and that's when my heart melted, because Director Wynn got up and told her story. And if you didn't hear that, and if you didn't get moved by that, you need to go see Diane after this meeting, because she's a really good counselor and she can help you with that problem. That was a moving moment for me, hearing her story, hearing what her family went through and how she has excelled. And then I looked around the room and I saw the great diversity of characters that we have that make up this board. And I looked up at the leadership table and I saw Chair Wooten hand over the gavel to Chair Stafford. I looked and I saw Steve and I saw Santos and I saw our beloved Cindy. And I realized at that moment, our diversity in this room is our strength. We are able to take people from every type of influence, every political type of belief, every race, religion, come together, meet, and make things happen, and do things for the good of lawyers, and do things for the good of the people of the state of Texas. And we do it with a smile on our face. And for that, I commend you, and I say, you owe yourselves a round of applause, because that is awesome. So, that being said, that's why I love this organization. Now then, why is it that I want to take on this responsibility and this task? And why am I the person who is suited to do this? Well, I want to talk about my experience. I've been a lawyer for 42 years. I started out in general practice. I went to work for a firm. I realized then that I needed to go out on my own. I did. I followed that desire. And I had the privilege of being able to try cases all over this state. I've tried cases in Marfa, Texas. I've tried cases in Kermit, not the frog, but the city. I've tried Midland, Odessa, Lubbock, Austin, Houston, Dallas, Rockwall. I've been fortunate. And I bring that not to toot my own horn, but to tell you that experience gives me the unique ability to represent the lawyers of Texas. I've been in all fields of practice: family, criminal, personal injury, business litigation. I bring that as experience that I can use to help represent the lawyers better. I want to see us provide more access to justice. I want to work to continue the legacy that was started by Chief Justice Heck towards making access to justice, and work with Harriet, somebody I still can't call Harriet, but I did. I want to work with that legend and TYLA to create more streamlined access by people in need for legal services and expand those legal services. I want to see CLE to educate lawyers about the bar service. I want to see local bars involved more. I want to see our social media presence to educate lawyers about the bar expanded. There's so many things I want to do. I want to carry on the work of Santos Vargas for mentorship, the work of Steve Benesh for, oh my gosh, you know, how do we bottle that? His ambassadorship, Cindy Tisdale for civility, President Gibson for compassion. I want to carry all that out. My cell phone number, take your cell phone out, put this in it, is 214-728-4196. Please call me if you have any questions. I have the passion. I have the desire. And in my faith, I believe in God, and I ask God to bless each and every one of you, and to bless this organization, and to carry us forward and do the good work for the lawyers of this state in an honorable fashion And I just can't tell you how much I appreciate the honor of being here. Thank you.
Thank you, President-elect candidate G. David Smith. We're going to